Oh, sugar, honey, iced tea. It's the EAC show.
Yeah, that's facts.
I'm Emilio A. Cologne.
And I am Marcus Mack, and this is the EAC show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode, what is this?
83, Marcus
83,
Mack.
episode 83. Emilio, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. How was your weekend, Marcus?
Slow motion, man. Slow motion better than no motion, though. But for the most
It's getting
part.
better, though. It's getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know, I heard New York is in what do you call it? Category 4? What do you call it again?
I don't know.
How
I
they
don't
say
even
it?
pay attention anymore,
Yeah,
Marcus.
yeah. But I know New York, they lightening up a little bit, you know, Georgia, but it's just so crazy, man. But for the most part, it's been real cool, man. But this COVID thing we need to get back in the studio, man.
Marcus, real talk. In 6 months, everybody in the state of Florida is going to be immune to COVID. You and I talked about this.
That's a fact.
You
That's
and
a fact.
you and I talked about this off the show that everybody, because Florida disrespects COVID. We don't listen
At all. It's been crazy out here,
like
man.
people having parties, people getting arrested for opening up illegal strip clubs and warehouses. It just Florida's just ruthless. They don't care.
Yeah, it's spicy out here for real. Out here in Georgia, it's super spicy.
Well, but now the weekend was cool. No issues. No, everything was all right. We had a lot of sports to enjoy, Marcus. I know you were excited. You actually tuned in and watched a couple NBA games, man. That Utah versus Denver series is no joke.
Yeah, man. They played a high velocity game, man. I'm talking about Westbrook frequency. Like they was on that, man. Listen, very high frequency, man. Murray did his thing. I really enjoyed the game. Game 7 is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Game 7 is gonna be nutty. It's gonna be really, really nutty. Today, actually, Miami Heat pulled off the upset and they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the first game. And right now, there's Houston OKC. They playing right now on TV. I'm checking it out. I know you checking it out while we're doing the show, Marcus. Marcus, The NBA is pulling off what they're pulling off, and they did an amazing job with this whole bubble situation. And now that we're in the second round of the playoffs, Marcus Mack, these players are allowed to get their families back. So their families are actually joining them in the bubble, which is relatively cool. So shout out to Commissioner Adam Silver for, he always gets things right. And he gets things right because he talks to his players and he gets feedback from them, and then he makes the decision. He just doesn't sit there and say, I'm the commissioner, you guys got to listen to me, and that's it.
Yeah, not a one world order. Like, you know what I mean? I call the shot. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he's definitely he's definitely for the players. He's part of it. He's part of them, and that's really dope. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question for you, Marcus. We're entrepreneurs. You're a business owner. I'm a business owner. Right. We have this with this show together. We have this show together. So when you have somebody that's on top in the leadership category that is like Adam Silver, that literally is willing to do what he has to do for you and for the future, how does that make you feel? You want to run through a brick wall, don't you?
I mean, what you mean by that? You want to run through a brick wall?
Because he's riding for you, so you want to ride for him.
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, when you're in business, you always you wanna be able to trust your partner. You know what I'm saying? It's just really dope that Adam Silver considers them that way. He considers them comrades, or you understand what I'm saying? He considers them part of him. That's what I meant by that. Not like, Commissioner Manfred now. It's his law and then them. You know what I mean? Because we talked about this before. MLB is that's more of it's a very
dictatorship.
That's a very good word for it. That's a very good word for it. But I was gonna say more conventional. It's conventional, so they thinking more about. I was gonna try to keep it politically correct. I was gonna keep it. You just shot at it. A dictatorship.
Yeah, I mean the way he's running it is pretty much just like that. I mean, you do what we tell you, or it is what it is. Like we'll stall. You said it best a couple episodes back. We'll just stall on you to where you have no choice but to accept our terms, and that's just. And if you really think about it, that's like lawyer stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. That's it's devious, but it's business. And I think that's why I would say more than anything, it's very conventional. It's a conventional sport because it's not like they're not in the same social. The players like Adam Silver, you'll probably catch Adam Silver out at a party with them or something. You're not gonna catch it.
100%. And then shout out to the NBA because for everybody that knows on social media and all throughout the world, Mr. T'Challa, Mr. Black Panther, Mr. Chadwick Boseman passed away over the weekend. He actually passed away right after we finished our Effort Friday show. We finished up our show. We wrapped it up. Marcus and I were talking after the show just to chop it up a little bit, and was like, "Yo, Black Panther died." I was like, "What? Black Panther died?"
Rest in power to Chadwick Boseman. They say one of the best things you can do in life is to inspire. Especially us as men having platforms. I think he did so much. Even they say he was fighting cancer for 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years since 2016.
And that's like it's a big topic of discussion because it's like look what he has been able to do even while under those circumstances, and for him to inspire a people, like he inspired the world in a way where you're looking at it like for Black Panther to hit at a time when did Black Panther come out? That was like last year, right?
No, more like 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago, right? But for that character alone, at right now, it's iconic. Like right now, what it means to especially little kids and stuff like that. Like, oh man, like
those memes and those stories of those little kids taking their action figures and giving Black Panther a funeral. That is epic. That is unbelievable. Yeah, and it goes to show you, how many lives he affected in a positive way. People are always saying, not even saying it even more, this was our king in the like in the Marvel cinematic universe, but also the people that he actually knew and he spoke to and he touched, they felt the same exact way. For him to live his life the way he lived his life and didn't want nobody to feel sorry for him, just went about doing his business. Not too many people knew about his situation. He pushed himself. So the NBA did an amazing job of paying tribute to him, and also Luke Olson. George Thompson, who passed away from Georgetown, and also Clifford Robinson. This whole weekend literally just had, death, and all paying tribute to these beautiful people in life and beautiful people in sports. Marcus Mack. The NBA is the epitome
George Thompson. He died of natural causes, right?
Yeah. The NBA is the epitome of what other leagues need to realize when it comes to promoting a brand and also getting your point across, because they get their point across and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You understand? I mean, whether we touch 25 people, or whether we touch 250 people or 2,500 people, 25,000 people, as long as we're trying to do something to where we're literally being positive and getting our point across, it's a great thing, Marcus Mack. So, Marcus, we also have to discuss a little bit about what's going on with this whole Washington football team situation, Marcus. And that came across not too long ago that the NFL is actually going to take over the investigation of Mr. Daniel Snyder, who owns the Washington football team. Marcus, this is exactly what I'm talking about, how when you got one group, that knows what they're doing in the NBA, and you got another group that sometimes they get it right and sometimes they get it wrong in the NFL. Now, Marcus, on Friday's show, you and I talked about the owner of the MLS team in Utah, Real Salt Lake. He owned the NWSL team. The MLS did the right thing. This guy has literally agreed to sell all of his teams immediately. Once you say some outlandish racial stuff, or you go beyond that line where you pass it, you literally go over it, that's basically what you have to do. You have to give up your team. With the Washington football team, I don't even want to say.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
So what the NFL is doing is they are just prolonging what needs to be done. Daniel Snyder needs to sell the team. It's simple. It's not hard. Stop investigating. There's no reason to investigate. All this stuff that's coming out, it's coming out for a purpose. It's a bad culture. It was happening so much in Washington, and it needs to change. Don't give me this independent investigation nonsense. That's bureaucracy talk.
Right.
We know what's really going on. You need to change ownership. You need to convince Daniel Snyder to sell that football team so that football team can move forward.
I mean, I'm quite sure there's nothing in the contract that he signed to acquire that team that says anything about racial slander or anything like that. So I don't think can the NFL force him, like push him out? Like, is there a board that say majority rules that you must sell?
Yes, of course. That's how the Clippers ended up. See, the difference with the MLS guy is that the MLS guy agreed. He didn't even let the board sit there and like they didn't. No, listen. I'm just, you know what? I messed up. I'm wrong. I'm gonna sell all of my teams. All 3 teams that I have in Utah, I'll put them up for sale. Like, he actually went to the commissioner of the MLS and said, listen, help me find a buyer for these teams. Like, I messed up. I have to do this. I can't be part of the community and trying to do positive things, and this negative thing that I did, like, overshadows it. There's no way. Just sell it. Like, get rid of it. Because I'm not going to be able to get people to come to my games if people feel like I am a racist. You understand? Or
right.
I have racist remarks. So in that instance, you have people that do the right thing. And he said, you know what? I'll just do it myself without anybody interfering. But with the NFL, we're talking about a ridiculous amount of money. And it's more about pride than anything else. Daniel Snyder has been a team owner for God knows how long. And
so really, he doesn't have to sell if he doesn't want to.
He doesn't have to, but there is things in place to where they can force him to sell without him even wanting to.
Okay, yeah, because that's like the major point. I think that's the bottom line, if anything. Like, does he have to? If there's something saying, if there's a clause saying, hey, listen, if
every contract has a force majeure contract in it, Marcus Mack. It's just
right.
It's just because what you're doing is detrimental to the product. You understand?
Right, yeah, okay. So yeah. So if they could present that argument the way you putting it there, then yeah, most definitely he'll be out of there. But you know, like we talking about platforms, man. When people got these kinds of platforms, you represent something. You can't do these kinds of things. And at this point right now that we in with all that's going on and all the awareness, you know what I'm saying, I think it's the worst time possible for you to get caught up in something like that. And if he's not punished in some way, shape, or form, or if he's not made an example out of, because that it's not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. And just to leave him in the position that he's in, then I think that'd be very irresponsible.
Marcus Mack, I guarantee you Daniel Snyder is probably one of the coolest owners to hang out with down here on South Beach. We probably would have a ball with homie. Right. Unlimited funds. We'd be out on South Beach all day long. We take him to every strip club.
He just likes to hang out, probably get a little high, probably slide in a little nigga every now and then.
He'll swipe like his credit card unlimited amounts and girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, we would just have a blast. But in the workplace, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right. He's one of the boys.
And listen to me, what you do on the weekend and what you do in the workplace has to be 2 different things. You can't bring the weekend to the workplace.
But here's the thing. We continue to talk about these platforms and people having a certain level of responsibility to those platforms. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with you. No matter how many people you touch, whether it's one person or 1 million people, you know, you still have the same responsibility. But when you knowingly have a platform of that magnitude, you were supposed to be a little bit more responsible than that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah, I agree totally. Well, this part of the show is going to be brought to you by our sponsor, elcubanosandwichshop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a natural pre-workout shot of that Cuban coffee to start your day. You can have a café con leche. And their steak sandwich is absolutely next level. Once again, when you go there, make sure you use the promo code EAC. That's elcubanosandwichshop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC, and that's El Cubano Sandwich Shop in Coral Springs. I'm Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Smack. This is episode 83 of the EAC show. Marcus, what other topics that we have to tackle? I know we talk about football. We talk a little bit about basketball. What else do we have to discuss on today's show, if I'm not mistaken?
I think that kind of, you know what it was? They just ran so smooth. Can we get an update on tonight's game if you're watching it?
I mean, it's right now it's 29-27 OKC. I mean, I'm Houston right now in the game that I'm watching. But Marcus, there's just so much going on. Shout out to all the leagues. No COVID cases, no stoppages in play. People are doing the right thing. They're being safe. I'm just glad that sports is back. Sports is really, really, really back, Marcus.
Yeah, whatever pharmaceutical company or whatever company for that matter gets that contract to do the NFL COVID testing. Oh man!
Oh, they already did.
They did.
They did.
What company was that?
I forgot. You can look it up while we're talking, but I remember that. I forgot what I was watching. I think I was watching CNN or I was watching Fox News or one of them, and there was a guy speaking on it, and he basically confirmed it without confirming it. Like, he confirmed that we secured the contract to do it. I forgot the name of the company, but I remember seeing his face saying he secured the contract for COVID testing for the NFL.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, whatever company is, I know that's gonna be for sure. But football is coming up here. I know we was talking about something with the Saints, Saints running back.
Oh yeah. So Alvin Kamara has actually been absent for the last 3 workouts. They're unexcused absences. So these unexcused absences are basically like them saying, look, he's holding out because he wants a new contract. Now, Marcus, there's a situation out in LA with the Chargers where Mark Ingram is a defensive end for them, and he's not holding out. He's actually holding in. Holding in means he's coming to practice, but he's not practicing because he wants a new deal. And you got Alvin Kamara, who's doing the exact opposite, to where he's supposed to be at training camp, but he's not at training camp, and he wants new money. So, Marcus Mack, in your opinion, which approach is better?
As far as sitting out, or I mean, any form of, I don't want to call it protest, but it's not the right word for that. But when you want something, like you want something on your contract, or you pushing for something and you're in this phase of negotiating, anything that you need to do that isn't just like, that could, put a bad look on your name, then man, get it done. So if we're gonna sit out and say, listen, this is what I want. If I'm not getting it, then we're not even gonna move forward. Then that's what you got to do.
So here's my thing. Would you do what Kamara is doing and not show up at all, or would you do what Ingram is doing and show up but just not practice?
If it was me, I would show up and just not practice. I would probably show up. But if I show up, I'm gonna say, man, I might as well practice. But then it has to be something. That's what I'm saying. It depends on. We talk about this a lot. We talk about leverage. I just think it's just bad business that you don't come at all.
Well, if you think about it, at the end of the day, Marcus, this is real talk. You get paid to play games,
right?
You get paid to perform. So if you're at a disagreement with an organization because you want more money, you can sit there and say, look, I'm here. I'm in the building. I'm just not going to practice. Now, when you have leverage that you're that good and you're sitting there to the organization, you're saying, look, I want a new deal. The organization says they don't want to pay you and they don't want to give you a new deal. You're like, okay.
Go pluck off.
F you. Well, I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to come here, sit my ass down, and I'm going to play the games. Now, the organization can sit there and say, well, you didn't practice, so we're not going to play you. Who is that hurting? It's not hurting him because he's there. He's still going to get paid.
Right. That's a fact.
It's hurting the organization. So if you really think about it, in my opinion, Ingram is showing the organization, yo, you guys value me even more because you're going to play me regardless of whether I practice or not.
Right. I mean, in the good words of Iverson, practice? Practice? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like I said, I think if you just got that kind of pull, you feel like you could pull something like that and not show up at all, man, your balls are coconut size, watermelon even. You know what I mean? But, just the professional thing to do is you got to come to work. Feel what I'm saying? All right, listen, man, I ain't practicing. I ain't messing with y'all. Y'all need to figure out what y'all going to do with my money or it ain't going to be nothing. But being that I'm still in contract with y'all, I'm going to be over here chilling, having some peanuts or something. I'm going to be chilling, macking with the cheerleaders. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, for me, I'm gonna show up in practice. I mean, I'm gonna show up and not practice.
You and I discussed it on the last episode, and this had a little bit to do about with the whole NBA and what's going on with social justice and stuff like that. The NBA is trying to make sure that they can hold owners accountable. Do you think that the NFL players should do the same exact thing with the owners? They should hold the owners accountable to be able to do more in the community, to have a voice, to make sure that racism is ended and every man is created equal?
Yes.
Or treated equal.
Right. Well, every man be equal. Yeah, but we could start with treated equal. Yeah, I think they definitely should. They should be held accountable. I think everybody should be held accountable. And, we talk about position. We talk about the platform that you hold. We use these particular words, you know what I'm saying? So for the owners of these teams, these are somewhat the gatekeepers in some respect. You understand what I'm saying? So in the position that they hold, if they don't represent change and betterment for society altogether, of course they should be held accountable.
But Marcus, this is the type of level stuff that people actually have. So I'll give you a prime example. You got Jerry Jones, who's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He's also the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. So he's the one that cuts players, brings players in. He makes those decisions. So he's the owner and the GM. It's crazy how, quote unquote, America's team, in quotation, we know how much Cameron hates us saying that.
Right. Big shout outs to Cam. Cam, what up?
America's team hasn't said anything when it comes to this at all. Right.
I mean, how you feel about that? Emilio?
I think Jerry Jones should be the leader when it comes to it. You're America's team. You should be the leader, leading the forefront to make sure that all this is going on. These changes is being done, and that we end racism all over in all of sports.
I mean, yeah, I think the whoever's stepping forward now is definitely on the forefront. They're on the front line. And everyone who follows is just bringing the pressure even more. And anybody who can get on board, again, that has the position, that has the platform, they would definitely make a big difference. Because it's like, everyone counts, just for the record, no matter how big the platform is, who you're talking to or what. It starts in here. Just like the beginning of faith, in my personal opinion, in my experience, the beginning of faith and how much faith is going to last and go is believing. If you don't believe, then nothing's going to really happen. Yeah, you got to believe. So with each person, it counts. So as you go up the ranks with people that have a certain status, when they are against it, then it'll spread a whole lot more. So they should be held accountable, just like everyone should be held accountable. But when you have a certain position, what you stand for and what you stand on means a lot. So, yes.
Well said, Marcus Mack. Well said. I can't blame you. Well said. But the thing is like we got so much stuff going on. We got baseball going on. We got soccer going on. The NFL is going to start up soon. I mean, I'm just excited because Marcus, not for nothing, 2 months ago, we didn't have shit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
People were asking me, how the hell are you doing a podcast with no sports? I was like, we talk about not having sports.
Exactly. We talk about Russian face slapping. What's the name of that? That's the whole, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys ever seen it. I'm going to show it to y'all. Y'all check it out right there. I'm saying y'all going to see it. Smack the fire out of you. Like, this is sport. Bomb. All right, you eat that. He come back, smack the other dude. This is one big dude. This dude is like a house. When this guy smacks you, it's quiet for you. Thunder, lightning, everything. Oh man, it's crazy. They put powder on their hand. It looked like when LeBron threw the powder in the air. Bah! Hard.
it's like a grown man slapping an infant child. That's what it looks like, Marcus Mack. It's bad.
Horrible. It's horrible. It's bad. Y'all got to check that out, by the way.
We should have edited it. We should have made that for every team that ended up getting ousted. We get the best player on one team and get the best player on the other team, and whatever team ends up going out the playoffs gets smacked.
Yo, listen. What was something else? I know we did Korean baseball. We was talking about that.
We did Korean baseball. We did netball. We did We did it all, Marcus. We were trying to follow everything and anything under the sun.
Anything that was shaking, we was trying to get as much coverage to y'all as possible. We don't care if it was
racing spiders.
Racing spider. Oh, nah, fighting spiders. Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about that. You know, somebody try to blow me up in the comments and all that. Nah, chill. So
the YouTube comment section sometimes are ruthless.
Yeah. The Regal spiders. Anybody, if you know, you know. But yeah, what else did we cover? We covered so much, man, and we was just trying to bring y'all as much news as we could. The crazy thing is, we started the show at that time. That just was the temperature at the time, and we said, you know what, yo, we can't stop. And big shout outs to Nick, big shout outs to Joe Benetti, big shout outs to Cameron Den, the big one. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to everybody, man. We kept it at that time when there was no sports at all. We kept good content for you guys, man. Appreciate those guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Emilio A. Cologne. That is Marcus Smack. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please hit the notification button so you can stay up to date on all our new episodes. And Marcus, we'll check you out next episode. We appreciate the love and the support. Thanks, guys.
Oh, sugar, honey, iced tea. It's the EAC show.
Yeah, that's facts.